Hello friends, and welcome to another Modern League. Today we're going to be playing Grixis Shadow. I've often said that if you want to help kids learn math, teach them magic, and Death Shadow presents some interesting variables to the equation, where the power and toughness of the creature is not always going to be what's exactly written on the card there, unless we play Dress Down, and that simplifies the math quite a bit. Makes our Death Shadows guaranteed 13-13. Might be able to swing in for lethal damage. Since the Dress Down does have Flash, we can cast it after blockers have been declared, although I don't think we would actually surprise anybody with that. This deck has been a known thing for a while, and this is actually a known list. This list won challenge twice in a row. The pilot was, my memory's weird with these things. It's either Strong Soul or Soul Strong, something like that. Anyways, I'm sure that most Grixis Shadow pilots would be quite familiar with this 75 at this point. But we're going to give it a try and see how it goes for us. So we got a one-land hand here. Really not digging this one. I think we're going to mulligan it. Opponent has no companion. Another one-land hand, but we got Darcy, Mishra's Bauble to try and find our way to something. Thoughtseize to unlock our shadows. We'll keep this one. We'll just get rid of our 1-2 drop. Crashing Footfalls is what we're facing. Alright, well the Thoughtseize will be good. Go get Blood Crypt. Play Darcy. Mishra's Bauble will try and find land. We do find land, but it's a basic mountain. Unacceptable. I don't want that one. Get out of here. Your basic mountain. Alright, they got a breeding pool on top. So they play breeding pool, but not the breeding pool we saw. See, this is the problem with having different arts, friends. Now we know they have a breeding pool in hand. Ooh, they're drawing Endurance? That's rough. It's Julia, I believe, is the name of the person who has emotes for lots of streamers. Okay, cool. I'll look that up. Alright, let's Thoughtseize again, so at least we can get something out of their hand. Yeah, every once in a while, I'll like miss out because I didn't realize that I had a copy of a card. So when I'm renting from Card Hoarder, I just grab 2 copies instead of 4, and then I realize that our copies are different arts. Also, my grists. One of my grist is from opening a pack, and then the other 2 I bought. So one of them is has the nice art, and the other ones don't. They drew the Shardless Agent. They got a bunch more Rhinos. This is looking quite poor for us, especially since we just are totally unable to draw any amount of lands. That's what we get for keeping a one-land hand. Some interesting things can happen here with combat math. The problem is they're just attacking with too many creatures. So even if we block 2 Rhinos, they still have lethal. Lands are for winners. I like that one. The website Fiverr has lots of good artists for emotes and stuff. All right. Because part of the issue is the price tag attached to these things. I was just doing like some basic research, and they look like they're going to be pretty expensive, which makes sense because you got to put quite a bit of time into it, right? It's not like you can just take 5 minutes and make an emote, unless you're stealing art like me. Something like that you can make in 5 minutes, but to actually make something original takes a while. All right, so what are we going to do here? I guess we can bring in Spell Pierce. I kind of feel like our sideboard isn't really well set up for this matchup. Don't have a lot of options like no Chalice on 0, no Void Mirror. Yeah, we got the Terminates. We can terminate a Rhino, use one of our cards for half of theirs. Better than dying to Rhino. Yeah, good enough. Turn 1 Ragavan seems fine. And then we can Expressive Iteration off the treasure. Oh, that's a good point. K command kills their Shardless Agent. Of course, once Shardless Agent's in play, it's already, you know, the problem's already there because it already cascaded. Brazen Borrower on top. We could just throw down Brazen Borrower, start attacking for 3 with it. I don't mind that. Might actually want to hold up Drown in the Loch here to be able to counter the Rhino spell, Crashing Footfalls. Yes, opponent should have Rhinoed in response to iteration. It would have resolved. I was thinking like, okay, if they do that, at least I have Unholy Heat and I can kill a couple of Rhinos. Oh, wow. Ancestral? That's a shock. They're playing Ancestral. We don't get the option of adventuring it. You might have to, I'm not too sure exactly, like there might be something in how adventure works, because when we went to cast it, it only gave us the option of casting the Brazen Borrower, not Petty Theft. So it might have something like, you may cast this from your hand or something. Yes, we can use adventure. I wonder why it didn't give us the option to then. Didn't have a target. Oh, okay. Cool, cool. Thanks. All right, well, that clears that up. Oh, here comes Endurance. So with that ability on the stack, we'll use Unholy Heat to kill the Endurance. Leave that on top. They're going to Petty Theft the Ragavan, okay? So we still get in for 1. And I still have land drop here, but if I fetch, then I lose the shadow. So they've used 2 Crashing Footfalls here. And then they also have Ancestral Vision. More Rhinos. Plus they have Brazen Borrower to punish us. In the name of the moon. Looks like Fury. Yeah, I guess I just forgot about it. Alright, so if we get removal spell for Fury, maybe we can win. Oh no, it was Expressive. One land hand on the play. We have Thoughtseize and Bauble. We have Unholy Heat. I think this is a pretty good one if we draw land. Halo Thane, thanks for the follow, friend. Steam Vents on top. So we are playing against Storm. Getting Gifts Ungiven out of here seems kind of good. Don't have to worry about that anymore. Land? How about land? Okay, nice. Right, so they played Spring, Spire Bluff, and Consider. Okay. Yeah, super greedy. No kidding. Especially on the play. Yeah, every once in a while you will see me get very punished for doing something like that. And sometimes we get rewarded. This is an alright start for us, but we're not out of this yet. Don't have the life total to be able to cast our shadows yet, but iteration seems pretty good here. Oh, the source of mana, though, like, not having black mana. Okay, no, it's a fetch. It's fine. So we'll get the Shadow, get rid of the Heat, Tarn Exile, play the Tarn, get a black source, play Shadow. Let's go. Hey, get out of my face. They play Misty. We know about the Steam Vents, so there's one unknown card in hand. Kroxa again. Make them discard another card, play Shadow. Seems okay. We could also Iteration, which is also very good. Iteration Shadow seems pretty good. Maybe be able to get like a land or something. We can find another fetch land, that'd be really nice. Thoughtseize is pretty good too. But it's a little bit awkward with our choices here. I think we'll go Thoughtseize to hand. And then we'll play Darcy. Should have just played the Shadows, who would have lethal. We're tapped out. They play Baral. This could just be death. Gonna F6 here. I have no responses. Should have just held up the Unholy Heat, I guess. We could just be dead here. Don't know what kind of stack they're going to give us with his gifts. But they got a Pass in the Flames in the graveyard with a Desperate Ritual. And the storm count is already 6. So the Grape Shot probably just kills us regardless. Because, yeah, we give them the rituals. Then they go Ritual, Ritual, Past in Flames, Grape Shot. Give them the Grape Shot Manamorphose. Then they go Manamorphose to 7. I think we give them the Grape Shot Manamorphose here. Is this Desperate Ritual part of the Past in Flames? I think it is, right? Alright, get rid of their mana. That seems to be the one thing they're stumbling on here. If they find one more spell to cast, we're dead. Okay, yeah, actually they were just able to cast the they had just enough mana to cast the Past in Flames, and from that point they could just Grape Shot us, but they decided to continue comboing because Storm is fun. Yeah, there you go. There's the Grape Shot. Alright, we'll concede, so they don't have to go through all that garbage. What do we have against them? Soul Guide, Spellbomb, Spell Pierce. Tourach is kind of interesting, like asking them to discard cards seems good. But then we want to get rid of Kroxa when we bring in Tourach. What does that make sense? It doesn't. I want to keep some number of removal to be able to kill their Stormlords. Being able to counter their spells seems good. Two lands, Ragavan on the play. We have a removal spell for their first Stormlord. Let's keep this. Get Steam Vents, so we have all of our colors. Oh no, they have a Lightning Bolt on top. Ah, crap. Bye-bye, Ragavan. And they have another Lightning Bolt on top. Okay. Just not meant to be. I'm going to have to get a lot more experience with this deck if I want to start winning with it. Yes, actually, I would have liked to have paid that life. Go back, please. What? I can't? Alright, fine. Let's Ragavan with Spell Pierce up, I guess. Mags, thanks for the follow, friend. Have I played a lot of Shadow? No, I have not. I used to play Shadow in Legacy, but this was before Modern Horizons 2. This was before the Plague. Played a lot of the aggro Shadow version when we were playing Scourge. But Grixis is not one that I've played very often. Well, Dress Down got rid of it. Excellent. Well, I know like it's a very, very good deck. I just have a little bit of trouble getting it to work. There's a lot going on with it, and it's a little bit outside of my my usual playstyle. But you know that's good because that means that as I'm playing it, I'm going to be learning a little bit about the format, getting a better idea of what my opponents are doing when they're playing this deck. I'm in for that. Another lightning bolt? Wow, 3 lightning bolts. No Ragavans allowed. You got a 4th lightning bolt for this one? Let's see it, opponent. What is this? Repeal. That works. Alright, so we have our treasure token here to cast a Lightning Bolt or Unholy Heat. If they put a Stormlord down this turn, it looks like they aren't though. So we're going to be able to attack in with Ragavan again. They're going to gift Sungiven. Three Bolt for 3 Ragavan, that's correct. We did have the Spell Pierce for one of them. Alright, I never really know how to deal with these gifts piles. Gonna get rid of Past in Flames and Manamorpho so they don't get to draw the extra cards. Past in Flames only gets to be cast once for extra mana. We get a Serum Visions? Sure. So Storm is still legit? Not entirely sure on that. Some people continue to play Storm and win with it. I'm not sure where it would fit in the tier list, but it's still playable. Yeah, we definitely want the Dran. We've already got removal. Bottom this, top this. Which means we aren't going to be fetching. Unless we absolutely have to. We could also... What's name? Oh, right. I should have just used that Bauble, and then we would draw the card and we could fetch. Damn it! But yeah, we can dress down in response to the thing going on the board. Storm, compared to a lot of decks, is underpowered. No, we could have played that turn a lot better. A lot better. I was thinking about playing Modern, Hollow One, and Dredge look fun to me, but they're nowhere near being good decks, so I gave up. Dredge is kind of good. Again, like, there's a lot of things that interact with Dredge, like you have to deal with all those copies of Endurance that everybody has, but Dredge is still fine. And that's something that Dredge has always had to deal with. They've always had to deal with, you know, Rest in Peace and what have you, so... You know, your enemies have a new toy in Endurance, but you have a new toy as well. In the, I don't remember the name of the card off the top of my head, but the blue 1-mana instant that lets you look at the top 3 cards of your library with flashback, that card is nuts. Otherworldly Gaze, exactly. And yeah, absolutely. If you're, you know, a talented Storm pilot, then you're going to be able to get things done. Alright, hopefully we have another red source in the deck. Pretty sure we do. Oh, we got tons. Let's just go get Mountain, I guess. No, we're already well below their Storm count. If they have Grapeshot, we're dead anyways. Let's get Blood Crypt. Use the push, not the Unholy Heat. That doesn't matter. We have the mana for both. I mean, save the Bolt for face, sure. But I was thinking use the Unholy Heat. We got 4 card types. Okay, they have the Grape Shot. GG's. Seems fine to me. Thoughtseize forever, then Death Shadow. Just hope we're not playing against Burn. Not Burn. Good hand against that hand. It looks like it. Start with Urza Saga. So they probably drew a Karoo. Expedition map is what they drew. Get to 2 for 1 cleanly with a Kolaghan's command. Yeah, that's going to be pretty sweet. Alright, let's get a shadow onto the board. Oh, dress down, but we don't have the right manas. Okay, so if we hold up Kolaghan's command, we only get to attack for 1 damage, but then we get to kill the amulet. Well, he's gonna map right now, and then next turn they get amulet. Probably just seize. I don't think they're going to be able to do too much with it. We're taking the Summoner's Pact out of their hand, dealing damage. They're going to need a good draw. Okay, we could just take the Dryad then. And then next turn we can call against command. Blue mana would have been pretty nice there. Smack them for 13. Put the Fear of Shadow into them. I'm wondering, like, it might actually be right to do 2 damage to ourselves with Call Against Command. Destroy Amulet of Vigor, so then we're attacking in with a 5/5 every turn. Summoner's Pact. Goes and gets the Dryad. But they can still only play 1 more land here, right? So aren't they just dead? Yeah, okay. I think they forgot that they had already played a land that turn, and didn't realize that they weren't going to be able to play 2 lands with Dryad, and then and thus pay for their pact. Dryad is what, a 2/4, right? Wow, that's a lot of cards named Dryad of. Not a huge fan of this one. A million lands plus Thoughtseize Iteration. Whereas this one, only one land and it doesn't cast Thoughtseize. I think I'm going to mulligan. Opponent's keeping 7. This one's fine. Get rid of a land plus Kroxa, I think. Oh, you think ship the Shadow? That's fair. We don't quite have the lands to be able to play the Shadow yet. We would at least be able to play the Kroxa on turn 2. Darcy's interesting. I think I still play Ragavan turn 1. I mean, we could just like play the Darcy, then dash the Ragavan turn 2. But if, you know, we get to keep the Ragavan on the board just attacking with it every turn, we get so much advantage and not having to pay the 2 mana all the time. Alright, I think I'm just going to go get... how's this going to work? I need to go get... Let's get Blood Crypt. Oh yeah, Terrified. Their hand is probably super good. Oh, and a Grazer as well? The Ragavan's looking pretty bad now. Yeah, looks like... I think you were right the first time. Money has no relevant targets. We all knew what you were talking about. Being able to get mana with Ragavan would have been nice. Like, if they didn't have the Grazer, we would be in it. But they did. Alright, so they explore. They do find land. Woof. So they got enough mana now for Titan. Oh, that sucks. I think we just hold up Dress Down. So if they Titan, at least they don't get any advantage out of it. They would still have a Titan on board, which would be terrifying. We'd have to find a way to deal with it, but we'll see what happens. Thoughtseize. Worst part is we Thoughtseize, we don't get the Darcy trigger, but we can play Shadow. No, because we don't have double black. Brutal. I mean, the Relic, as long as we're not throwing a ton of cards into the graveyard every turn, it's keeping us off of Delirium forever. Alright, so we know they just have 2 forests in hand currently, but that can change, you know, every draw step, so... But yeah, like, after the Thoughtseize, I think they're pretty safe to use the Relic, especially, like, we know they just have 2 forests in hand, so they need to draw good cards. This also gets rid of the power of our Drown in the Loch. Yeah, well, the discard turned out to be pretty poor there. Thoughtseize did absolutely nothing. I mean, it put us to 12, which means we can put Shadow into play, but we didn't have the double black to be able to put the Shadow into play immediately, so that was pretty painful. Alright, so they play one of the forests. It was this one. No, it was this one. This one was already in play. Ah, it's so complicated. Damn it. Polluted Delta. Okay. Not the worst. Get in for 1, play Shadow. Hold. Hodl. I mean, it counters Pact. Counters Pact. Transmute Teleria West. Go get Pact. It is pretty perfect. Get to counter the Pact here. Counter target spell. Blue, black. And this is when they're like, haha, I already had a Titan in hand. Put that in the graveyard. Get a little bit closer to Delirium. Nope, they don't have it. Alright, so we could hit them for 14 here, but I think we just hit them for the 7, and then we hold the Dress Down just in case they get Titan next turn, because Dress Down doesn't kill them here. So yeah, I think it's better to hold it. Just pass the turn. We could play the Dress Down here on end step. And then we have more mana for like Luris and stuff. Kind of like it as a surprise, so like maybe we can just kill them. Like maybe we can just kill them now. Nice. All right. This looks fine, especially on the play. Turn 1 Ragavan, turn 2 Darcy Thoughtseize. Ah, I see. Now I understand what you're talking about. Let's get a Blood Crypt. And we'll Darcy Thoughtseize. Do we want another fetch? We've already got a mountain. I think we just go graveyard here. We want more spells. Ooh, that's a lot of... Ooh, that's... Oh, look at all that stuff. Wow. Archmage Charm is going to be able to steal our Dragon Rage Channeler. Their Solitude is just a huge problem waiting to happen. Spreading Seas gets rid of our Black Source. We probably have to take the Spreading Seas. Yeah, next turn we got a counterspell coming our way. We could just put Lurrus in hand, so their counter doesn't do anything. Harder matchup? Oh no. Like, I don't want to throw Expressive Iteration into their counterspell. Play Iteration with Mountain, then we can Thoughtseize them? That's interesting. Before I even Surveil, they're going to throw out that counterspell. So let's see here. They played the Mystic Gate and the counterspell. Let's try and keep track of these things. So we've got a pair of sorceries and a land. Let's get a creature in there. See if we can find an instant, artifact, or enchantment. Another creature. I kind of like that one. Let's keep it on top. All right, so they play the Hollowed Fountain, so we have perfect information on what they have in hand. And we're going to want to leave the blue mana open because, you know, we might hit something that requires blue mana out of the opponent's deck. It'd be nice if Darcy had Delirium. That would be nice. We just hit a land off the top. Brutal. Alright, nothing else we can do past turn. Island again, so we have perfect information because they never played that breeding pool. They're going to Memory Deluge this turn. Next turn, they have access to cast Solitude. How about a card I can play? Here comes Memory Deluge. That would be pretty great. That might be the best thing that we could possibly hit. No, we take a Supreme Verdict off the top, though. No verdict for you. And when they play Solitude, we can hit it with Unholy Heat. Oh, they're not playing the Solitude. They're playing Chalice on one. Oh, no. That's the worst. There's the breeding pool. There's Teferi. Teferi can bounce a Dragon Rage Channeler. Let's get rid of these ones. Yep, pretty gross. Just have a bunch of stuff we can't cast now. This was the card we wanted. We wanted to draw that. You know what? It was probably on top of the deck, and then they cast the Memory Deluge and got it. And took it off the top, so we couldn't play it. Alright, so they have Solitude at instant speed. I mean, we have Dress Down. So that's actually pretty good. Unfortunately, Solitude does have a lifelink. So they'll be able to attack with it, and that'll keep them from dying. Oh, that's right. I can't even cast the Dress Down. You're right. Because of stupid Teferi. Yeah, probably should have attacked the Teferi. I was just trying to, you know, like, put pressure on their life total to get there, but I would say this game is over. I guess, like, maybe we can draw to our one Kolaghan's command in the main. That seems like a good card. How do we deal with this matchup? Obviously, we bring in Tourach. I think we bring in all the Kolaghan's commands as well. Spell Pierce probably has some value. And I think that's everything we want. maybe might want to go up on Dress Down. I'm not sure about Dress Down in this matchup, especially where they're playing Teferi. So it might just be difficult to get the Dress Down to work. Scardu, thanks for the follow, friend. Get rid of the Fatal Push. Two more cards, friends. This one's kind of a tough one to decide what I'm supposed to get rid of. I could see trimming Heat. Not a lot of targets for it. Pair of Tourachs with only one land. We are on the play with Ragavan. I feel like I keep this. On the play with Ragavan. Get to turn 2 Inquisition. I'm going to risk it. Got punished last time for a turn 1 Ragavan, but this is where I'm at. Apparently, Expressive Iteration is like just an absolutely bonkers good card. You know? Like Topps Blueby. Totally math. It's 2 mana, draw 2 cards would be the shortcut. Nice draw. Might be able to Tourach on turn 3 if we get this to connect. Okay, that's pretty good. I think we Inquisition this turn, right? We can take a Chalice out of their hand this way. Like, the other option was hold a Kolaghan's Command to kill the Chalice. Alright, so they got a bunch of counter spells in Spreading Seas and Solitude. If we take the Veto, they don't have anything for Solitude left. I also don't mind just taking the Spreading Seas. Could just take the counterspell. I like actually taking just the counterspell. This counters non-creatures, and we have a Tourach ready to go next turn. Whereas counterspell actually counters the Tourach. Yeah, it's tricky, you know? I'm never quite sure what I'm supposed to hit there, but, Alright, so Mystic Gate, they're tapping down. They want to do Spreading Seas on Blood Crypt. So we're going to Tourach next turn. That's pretty good. Just go get a black source here. I don't think we actually even fetch, because I don't mind drawing a land here. So we'll fetch on our turn. Get a Thoughtseize. Alright. Alright, attack with Ragavan first. Oh shit. This is actually going to take away the mana that we needed. Alright. Change of plans, friends. Thoughtseize. They get rid of the veto. They've already cast the Spreading Seas. Sequencing. Alright. Your turn, opponent. All you got is lands. It was a bit of a risk. Alright, so they played Misty. Nothing to do but attack with Tourach, I guess. So they play the castle. Spell Pierce. Oh, I mean, we got the mana for Spell Pierce. That's pretty cool. Thanks to the opponent. Yeah, they pitched the first one to Solitude. We didn't know about the Dovin's Veto in hand for the Thoughtseize. It was a risk. We knew they had 2 lands. They might have had nothing. The Thoughtseize might have hit nothing. Fortunately, it hit something. Tourach got some power, which increases our clock, which was what I was after. They have a counterspell on top. Tourach is just doing all of our work for us. So they're going to scry with the castle. Nothing we can do about that. Good day. What were the matchups this league? So what did we have this league? We won against Titan, Amulet Titan. And then what did we lose against? We lost against Storm. There was one more this league. It might have been. It all kinds of blends together for me, if you know what I mean. E-tron, thank you. Hey, it's all good. Try to answer as best as I can. Gain Hexproof, gain 2 life. Cannot Spell Pierce that. Hey, Orbwalk, thank you for the Prime sub. Appreciate the support. I'm sure most of you are aware, being Twitch users and all that, but if you have Amazon Prime, you're able to link your accounts and have this wonderful free sub every month. You do have to resub with it every month. It's not an automatic thing, but yeah, you can support your favorite streamer with that, get some sweet emotes while you're at it. Definitely something worthwhile doing, and it's actually the reason why I kept my Prime membership throughout this whole time. Why not Spell Pierce that? They had the mana to pay. What are your favorite decks at the moment? In Modern, Yawgmoth combo, and in Pauper, Black Sack, and mostly Rakdos. Hey, all the follows! Iburakima with the follow. Welcome back. And Bambino, thank you. Been a while since I've heard from you, Iburakima. I'm playing a little bit too slowly here. Could K command, but then I don't have Spell Pierce up. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, but you got things sorted out? That's good to hear. Yeah, that's the plan here. They do have Counterspell. They're going to be able to counter this, but, oops. Okay. Oh, I guess there's only two options anyways. Black, red, this. This will also put instant in our graveyard, so Unholy Heat will be ready to go for 6, which is a pretty big deal. Cool. All right, let's go in for the win. See if we can get a W here on the board. Now this is game 2, we're down a game, so if we get this one, which it looks like we're set to, okay, so yeah, they're making a shark, and we can kill the shark with Unholy Heat. Ah, why do you still have Unholy Heat in your deck? To kill your sharks! Let's go to game 3. Yeah, and the Planeswalkers, exactly. We trimmed them, but we still had a couple. Look at you go. Starting to get a little bit more comfortable with the deck list, but there's still a lot to learn. Grixis Death Shadow isn't playing Snapcaster anymore. This list is not. Snap is a very expensive mana card. I mean, as far as your mana cost goes, and this is a 19 land deck. However, it is still a card that you can play in this format. You can play Snapcaster Mage, just, you know, be aware that you're going to want a higher land count if you do that. Kind of think I just want to Thoughtseize turn 1 in case they have a Chalice. We could also Mishra's Bauble ourselves and do the fork. Don't often get a chance to fork. Snapcaster is not as good as it was, but I think it's still good enough for the format. Alright, is this a card I want? It is not, so we'll fetch. Go get Watery Grave, yes. And Thoughtseize you. We got a Counterspell, Celestial Purge, Solitude, whole bunch of bullshit. Ah, jeez. What do we even get with this? They have no white mana. Maybe we just take the Counterspell? Because they have no white? Seems good. Of course, they're going to draw the white source off the top immediately, but can't Thoughtseize the top of a deck. Okay, there's the Castle Vantress. I mean, they had a lot of really good cards against us, so they're probably just assuming that they're going to find the white source. I love the Spell Pierce here. We're just missing instant or creature in the yard. We got a ton of instants in hand, so Dragon Rage Channeler should be able to hit pretty soon. Another Drown in the Loch. I think we just attack, pass, hold up our counter magic. Could put Lurrus into hand, but I'm terrified of doing that and then, you know, not being able to counterspell something important. Bet Jundesh Shadow claps pretty hard these days. We haven't seen it too much, actually. It does come around sometimes, but yeah, it's not something you see a lot of. Inquisition is a fine card. Let's cast that. Get another card into their graveyard. They might actually just go ahead and Solitude right now in response. Okay, another Mountain. I don't think we want that. Let's put that into the graveyard. I'm going to get rid of the Purge, I think. They have a pair of Solitudes in hand. Terrifying. They just aren't finding any white mana, and we aren't finding Delirium. This is hilarious. Need a Tourach, no kidding. Any creature, any instant. That's perfect. Into the graveyard with you. Himrakul, let's go. I wish I could play him to Tourach. But they insta-banned it in Pauper. They let us play with Atog and Chatterstorm. Him to Tourach? Too powerful. So they're drawing Teferi. Okay, another card they can't cast. I think we should grab Lurrus. That would be pretty good. But Spell Pierce Memory Deluge seems like amazing here. Top. Alright, land on top, and I think we win this game. Wow. That's a good draw. Alright, no counterspell, please. We know they have... I think we actually know exactly their hand, so we know they don't have counterspell. Alright, so Blossoming Calm, been exiled, and Solitude been used. Cast with Kicker. They're left with one card, and it's a random card they don't get to choose. I hope they get stuck with Veto, but it doesn't really matter what they get stuck with. Okay, they get stuck with Teferi. Go. And we still have Kroxa in the yard with enough cards and manas to bring it back next turn. They hin themselves, and we hin them too. Got 4 cards out of their hand that one turn. And now their graveyard is full of cards, so our Drown in the Lochs are good to go. Another Tourach. We could just make them discard their hand, but I think we'll just hold up Counter Magic forever. Or we could just Kroxa. I think we just hold up Drowns. I don't know, it's... The Drowns are so good right now. We'll just counter everything they do and hold up Tourach. So the only thing they can do is the Sweeper, but the Sweeper they need double white for it. Alright, unfortunately we only get 1 counter a turn, but counter that Archmage Charm. Alright, so they do get a white source now. Yeah, if they play Teferi, we can heat on our turn. Kill the Teferi. We have 5 card types. It seems pretty over to me. Okay, so we know they have no cards in hand. Alright, they're going to draw a random card for no value with the Teferi. Get a Death Shadow. Sweet. Oh shit, you're right. Kroxa there was lethal. Oh shit, I didn't even have the life total for my shadow. Oh, that's so embarrassing. I figured, oh, it's there for sure. No, we just wasted a shadow. Threw it away. That's how you lose a game like this, by throwing away your resources. Fortunately, it didn't matter. Got a lot of lands, an Inquisition, and a Shadow. I don't really like this hand. It doesn't do very much. I mean, if this was a Thoughtseize, I would be more interested in it, because then at least we would get a turn 2 Shadow. Oh, this one's not very good either. I guess we'll have to keep this. We'll get rid of Iteration and... Actually, hold on, cancel that. We'll keep the Iterations. We'll get rid of Kroxa and Drown. Iterations might allow us to get back in this game. And I guess we'll have to get... I guess we could get red-black here, because we're going to need the blue mana to be on a different land. No, we probably still want to get Steam Vents, because then almost any land will cast these Iterations anyway. Yeah, Steam Vents. Alright, hopefully this Ragavan lives, or I'm probably dead. Island. Oh, that's a blocker. I guess we got Unholy Heat. Kill this. Get in with Ragavan. Merfolk, though. Imagine that. Playing the Expressive Iteration here is pretty awkward. Because we basically don't get the 2 cards out of it. We only get 1. I think we're just going to pass. And then next turn, we'll be able to Iteration and do stuff because of the treasure token. So we'll be able to, like, maybe look for removal spell or something. I'm wondering about, like, trying to hold my life total high because we're playing against Merfolk and they have Island Walk. So I probably just want to go get a tap land here, even though we're a shadow deck. Now let's see here. What are they going to have? I was kind of worried about this, the Trickster. So they tap down our Ragavan. Don't get to attack with it. We get the Unholy Heat to kill stuff. I'm just going to go ahead and start with Iteration, see what we get. Thoughtseize land. Alright, we'll take the Thoughtseize land, I guess. Hand, bottom, play this. And then we can go get Mountain, kill this, and Thoughtseize them. We probably want to hold the Unholy Heat for a Lord. This isn't a Merfolk, so if we leave them with the Adept and they don't draw a Merfolk, they won't be able to cast it. Yeah, that's fair. Adept is definitely one of the 2 things that I was thinking about taking there. It was a draw. Don't be smart, just take Adept. Fair. I don't think they attack with this, right? Oh, I think we might have been paid off. Adept is a super good Merfolk. It replaces itself. It was the obvious choice. I was just, taking a little bit of time to think, is there something better? And the Harbinger would have been able to return the Ragavan. I didn't want them doing that. But it looks like we got a major payoff there, and they just missed. Oh my god, Archmage Charm? Oh, we just don't have the mana to cast it. Alright, I guess we go Darcy Iteration then. Another Thoughtseize. Alright. Into the graveyard with you. Let's put this over here so I remember I have access to it for next turn. And we'll get rid of the Silver Gill Adept. Alright, your turn, opponent. Okay, opponent scoops him up there. They weren't able to draw out of their flood. Yep, that's true. We could have done both Thoughtseizes, but their hand seemed kind of gassed out. Gonna want all of our creature removal, basically. Kolaghan's Command is like very so-so. I guess like it hits the Aether Vials, so that's probably good enough to bring in. Dress down is okay. I don't think I want the 3 dress down, but like there's definitely some value to having that, like taking away their island walk and being able to block their creatures. I don't think we're going to want too many hand target spells. I'm going to be more interested in like destroying the creatures they have on the board. They probably bring in Chalice, so Colin's command's going to be really good in that case. Kroxa and Iteration are too slow. What's better than those? Don't really want Gutshot. Tourach is not interesting. Spell Pierce is not that interesting. We could try that, split the difference. If you're scared of Veils and Chalice, bring in 1 Pierce. I wouldn't mind a Pierce. Because we know, like, they have, they're going to have Counterspell, they're going to have Archmage Charm. Hey, well, I appreciate you coming out here and, being brave and having a chat. I'm always very impressed by people that learn a second and even further languages. My English is not the best, and it's my first language. And all of y'all, your English is way better than my French. So, magnifique. Hey, Pack, thanks for the follow, friend. Not a huge fan of this one. We don't have any real removal. This Death Shadow kit takes a long time. We don't have Spell Pierce ready for their Aether Vial. I think we ship this one, go for another one. This one's a little bit more interesting. At least we have a turn 1 play. 2 fetches plus their attacks. Our shadows are going to get on board fairly quickly. But again, like I'm really not a huge fan of this one. Are you French? No, no. I did learn a little bit of French at school. That was I mean, like, where I grew up, Ontario, it's like a bilingual province, so we're all supposed to learn French. But I don't know if any of you have learned French the way that Canadian schools teach it, but wow, is it ever boring. You just spend all your time, like, learning the proper conjugation of verbs instead of, you know, like, reading and speaking, which would be the much better way to teach a language. Alright, so I think we just go for Blood Crypt, get the Darcy. We got a lot of blue stuff in hand. Let's go for the Steam Vents. I love how when teaching languages, even the teacher will admit it would be easier if you learn through immersion. Yeah, absolutely. The best way to learn a language is to go to where that language is, you know, spoken and immerse yourself in the culture and just learn by being forced to. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of this. Like, Expressive Iteration here is bad. I think we just, like, cast Ragavan Pass. Learn how to pass French tests, not how to speak French. Yeah, that's legit. Go on Twitch to learn English? Not a bad idea. There's a lot of back and forth as well, so you're actually able to have sort of conversations, a lot of text to read. I mean, obviously, getting a tutor is going to be one of your better options. Of course, you might sort of reveal yourself as having learned English on Twitch when, you know, like something happens and you start saying things like Sag or Poggers. Wow, that's bad. Exactly. Or, you know, a vampiric tutor, whatever you can afford. Heck. Into the graveyard with you. No lands. Oh, that sucks. Alright, let's take the Unholy Heat, put the Bolt back in the deck, and exile the Dress Down forever. Really needed to find a land there. Think we lose the game because of that? Well, they don't exactly have a lot of cards in hand. Oh, well, that's pretty good. Throw the Silvergill Adept into play, draw a card immediately. Start putting pressure on. I'm forced to trade with my own Ragavan. Oh, no. Okay, yeah, Merfolk Trickster taps the Darcy, then they're able to get in with a Ragavan, make a treasure, steal my top card. Well, I'm going to be able to play a Shadow next turn, kill one of their cards. Oh, they get Unholy Heat? They just kill my Darcy with that? Oh no. It's bad, chat. Alright, so we block the Ragavan and kill one of their other creatures before damage. Okay, so we take 4 here, go to 2. They have 2 lethal threats, 2 cards in hand. We get Unholy Heat, so we can heat one of them. I think we just have to pass. We hold up a blocker, drown one of their creatures. Because if we attack, we die. Remember when Shadow played TBR? Yup. Now we got Dress Down. Our TBR draws a card. TBR would be pretty good here, though. Win the game. I hear winning the game is pretty good. Harbinger of the Tides. You may return target it doesn't matter, because Harbinger of the Tide kills us. We're not able to deal with all their creatures. Too many attackers now. Alright, let's try again. Final game, friends. TBR has some very cool interactions. It does a lot. Like, the fact that it, first off, it just replaces itself immediately makes it better than TBR, in the sense that if you have nothing, you can play Dress Down and Cantrip. Now, like, that is just that one situation. There's a lot of different situations to look at. We can't just say, Dress Down is strictly better than TBR, but I feel like, in general, it's going to be more flexible, more useful. One land hand on the play with Ragavan. Woof. This hand is so good if we find lands, and we might be able to turn to Expressive Iteration for them. Wonder why Anger of the Gods has fallen out of favor. These were staples in Shadow decks not too long ago. I mean, we can't really Anger of the Gods, right? We're playing Ragavan and Darcy. Yeah, exactly, Bravo. Nice draw. Harbinger of the Tides. So we could play Steam Vents, play Harbinger, and Inquisition. Not bad. Alright, so they have two Tricksters. This thing. If we get rid of a Trickster, they just have another Trickster. But we can, like, terminate it. Can't really drown it in the Loch, unfortunately. We could Dress Down. How many times you need to be punished for keeping Ragavan one-landers? At least once more. Could just take the Archmage Charm so they can't steal our Ragavan. There's Island. I was thinking about it, but, like, they have a blocker anyways if I play the Dress Down. And also the Ragavan doesn't trigger. I think I'm going to do it this time, though. See if we can get the trade. I don't think Ragavan's going to be able to get in for damage again, ever, at this point. Right, because of Dress Down. Let's get that extra card. Should have targeted myself, so then I would know if I want to fetch. Had an opportunity to do the fork there. Oh, that's a good draw. I like that draw. Alright, so we played this. Only has indestructible if you have 2 other merfolks. So I'm going to be able to kill that with Terminate. Only has indestructible when you don't have Dress Down in play. Also true. On top. Yeah, that's true. Death Shadow, Dress Down, block this thing. On the other hand, just like Terminate it, we get to attack with both of our things. Hey, there we go. Opponent scoops him up to the Terminate. So we managed to get a positive league this time. Definitely a small improvement over the first league that we played. Definitely still feeling that I had a lot to learn about this deck. Hey, thanks, Pax. Thanks for coming by. Catch you next time. Considerations about the deck. What do you think about playing 1 or 2 more lands? I mean, like, this is a deck that was tailored by players that are much more talented than I am. So I would want to get a lot more experience with the deck before I started feeling comfortable with making a choice like that. Alright, there are more talented players out there? Yes. And this is one of the reasons why I love Modo so much, because while here in Halifax, I've been a big fish in a small pond, now I have access to some of the best players in the world, literally, so I'm able to, realistically start amping up my game because my opponents are going to bring me up. I have to get better in order to play against the best. Yeah, exactly. The player quality is through the roof, and I love that. I want to play against the best if I can. Alright, so you can almost see all the cards. Let's just reduce that a little bit. We can see all the cards on the screen now. Okay, so this is the deck that I was playing today. I've said it a couple times. As far as the Grixis Shadow versions go, I'm not very experienced, Like, I've played Shadow before. I've played it in Legacy as Dimir before the Plague occurred. I played quite a bit of Jund Shadow and Rakdos Shadow when we were playing Scourge. But since Dress Down came out, I think I've only played Shadow once. And I had a little bit of trouble with it then as well. I kind of feel like this is a deck where it's really going to reward your deeper understanding of the deck itself and of the meta. So while we didn't necessarily do as well in this league as I would like, we still ended up with a positive league. And we had a bit of fun with it and we learned some stuff. This is definitely one of the stronger options that's out there. Just when you decide to pick up this deck, if you're picking it up for the first time, definitely get some practice runs in there. I found that especially my first few games and matches, I was definitely making a lot of misplays. And I've also found that I need to slow down when I'm playing this deck because there's a lot of things to be able to consider. So when I was splitting my attention between the game and between chat, I definitely missed a few plays that could have, put me over the edge on winning a game or at least, giving it a good shot. But definitely enjoyed playing it. Happy to have the opportunity to do so and be able to learn a little bit more about the format and what other people are playing. Would definitely recommend the deck, and I think we'll probably play it again at some point. I think Shadow's around to stay.